Hey, welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast, episode 35. So, I'm here, Graham, Cody. Oh my god, I totally butchered this one, but it's me,
Are we
Graham.
sure it's
I'm here with
35?
what? Yeah, it's
We're at
35. We're
35.
at 35.
It is? Oh, cool. Okay.
I'm Graham, you're Cody. We got Luke and Richie as well. We don't have a guest this week. It's gonna You
Keep this
fuckers.
in. Keep this in. I love this.
Just keep going.
All right.
Great
Well,
start.
um
Get the potatoes out of you.
it's been a pretty low-key week, I'd think, for the most of us. I got a few things I want to talk about. Mainly, just working on random little things here and there. I've got people crawling out of the woodwork asking for gear jobs. Like, I don't know what it is, but summer's around and people want to build their off-road rigs.
Want to do my gears, Graham?
I mean, not really, but if you pay me money, I might. Like, that's
Fair
sort of
enough.
where I'm at with all this stuff.
I mean, you kind of have to though. There's a point to where like you're gonna burn yourself out if you don't. You need another ulterior motive to keep yourself going. You know,
Mhm.
you've been doing it and helping people out for so long now that it's time. You have enough
Yeah.
credential behind yourself. You have enough shit backing you that it's not odd for you to be like, no, motherfucker, charge like you need to pay me to do this. Like, so I don't
Yeah,
blame you.
I've been slowly like raising the price on the gear jobs I do, not to like an absurd amount, right? It's
Mhm.
still like half the time it's a backyard rebuild, like with Collins and with Sean's, which I'm doing tomorrow, I believe. Um, but I'm trying to better my tooling with that. I just picked up, or I've ordered. I don't have it yet. A pinion depth gauge. Before, that's always sort of just been not guesswork, but you put it in, and if it's really bad, you adjust it, and if it's tolerable, you work with it, right? I have set up bearings for some axles, not others, so having the pinion depth gauge is going to make that. I'm hoping that makes it simpler. It'll make it take less time, so I can do more because people seem to want me to do them. So
That'll be
anyway.
awesome for you. Honestly, that'll be fun. So, and I mean, I'm guessing a decent part of it too. If it's anybody from the club, it's mostly gonna be the Badlands push. You know, we got 3 weekends until we're gonna be going to Badlands. Like, it is right around the corner. I know that
That soon.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
next weekend is the 28th. The weekend after that is the 7th. The weekend after that is the 15th. Actually, fuck, we have 2 weekends.
Oh shit.
So
That reminds me, Richie, you need to, before I leave, grab the registration for my trailer.
Oh yes.
I
If
still
you're
have
going to
shit-
be borrowing it.
do I still
Yeah.
have shit
Yeah.
at the shop?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come down and grab it. Whatever day you need me down there, I'll be down there.
Just talk with Richie because I'm going to be paying for at least another month there. So
Okay, so
work
it's not
it
a
out with him, but it does, like,
need to get the fuck out. Gotcha.
it's one of those situations where, like, just the Jeep isn't ready to go yet, so I'm paying for another month or whatnot.
Fair enough,
Um,
man.
Yep.
But yeah, like I'm definitely on the push, so I know that other people sure are. Like, it comes up quick. I know I'll be sitting there Wednesday, Thursday before we leave, definitely working on the Jeep. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I know you've got a. I was surprised you didn't mention it right there.
Oh, I
Your
mean, we
whole
can get
shock
into it.
debacle.
I didn't want to steal your thunder talking about how.
Oh, it's
busy
fine.
you
We
were.
can always come back to my thunder. I've always got thunder
So-
to talk about.
I definitely made an oopsie poopsie. I ordered shocks. Actually, when we talked with Mark about it, I actually got the shocks that day and I was playing with them, and I fucked up. I got 12-inch. Well, they're technically 12 and a half, but the fuck, it doesn't matter. I got them and I did not measure. I just assumed that they would work. I had some other outside sources advised me to go with 12-inch travel shocks. So I'm like, okay, they must work fine. Well, I didn't pay attention, and my shocks are way, 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 way too fucking long to fit in the front under the current circumstances of it. Granted, yes, I am keeping them. Yes, I will be doing shock hoops, and they're probably gonna have to go through the fucking hood because they're that long.
Are you doing them in the
Uh,
front or the back, though? I know I was trying to tell you to put them in the back.
I mean,
It's a
I
12 inch.
no, I mean, I'll just get another set. They're cheap. They're $80 a piece. They're $85 a piece. I'll just get another set for the rear. But I mean,
Well-
I want these to work, and if I build nice enough shocks, like shock hoops and like a shock mount for the front, then I can just swap it over to coilovers when I do.
The
Fair.
part about that perplexes me is with your current shocks, those are what, 10s?
No, they are far from tens.
No, we measured them. There's like 9.5 inches of total travel in them.
Supposedly they are, but like I'm not even kidding you, dude. The body alone on the new shocks.
Well, that's where I was getting to.
Yeah, it's
I'm
massive.
wondering if the body is bigger because they've got stackable, rebuildable valving in there, which makes
Definitely.
the shock body taller.
There's a good chance of that. Honestly, I made the mistake, and the tough part is now, is I shouldn't even do my limit straps because now it's gonna be off compared to my shocks because like I'm not gonna set it up for tens and then get 12s and have to reset it up. I can't even set up my bump stops because the bump stop is not only gonna limit the travel of the track bar, but also limiting the travel for the shock, so that way I don't bottom out the shock, or not the travel, but like the compression onto the shock. So yeah, I definitely did an oopsie poopsie, and pretty much we shall see. I'm doing my stiffeners and track bar, and that might be it. And then from Roush, doing just like a fucking hard push of everything else. So I don't know.
It sounds like we're going to be moving more towards focusing on the big pushes while Graham and Richie are out there having fun with the small stuff.
Yeah.
Well, not the small stuff, but like the...
What are you talking about? You're giving me your big push. I gotta build a floor in that fucking thing.
I get that, but I mean, like, if you look progressively back, I have done a 4-link, bunch of reinforcement on the body, fixed a bunch of shit, all the shit that I blew up last year, and I'm going to take it to, like, 2 wheeling trips this year.
Yeah.
So I'm doing, like, a big push, if you get what I'm...
Yeah, fair. Yeah, you're not wheeling that much, which is lame, but understandable considering the circumstances and the current Jeep situation, which is not driving.
See, I'm just
But
mad because I
close.
really wanted to get my front end stuff done and completed before Badlands. Get my hydro in, get that set up so I have 2.5 months to dial it in, and then figure out my rear situation, so that way I could be like, set up for Roush to have a pretty like reliable Jeep. I was gonna do all the preliminary maintenance, and not necessarily maintenance, but the upgraded maintenance, I guess you could call it.
You don't want to go on a longer trip and blow up on the first fucking obstacle. That's
Correct.
pretty obnoxious.
Correct,
I
and
agree.
also make sure that my Jeep's gonna do what it's supposed to. Like the fact that my shackle is sitting at a 90-degree angle, that's fucked up. It's not supposed to be doing that,
No,
Like,
yeah, you got to like do some tuning and fixing. And
yeah.
little shit. But that's like easy. You already know the problem. It's not. There's no testing that needs to be done to know that your shackle angle's fucked.
No, but I'm gonna do
Imagine
it.
having shackles, though.
Oh my
You're not
God.
even gonna
All
Oh,
Into
fuck
you.
off.
All right,
Imagine having a
all right.
floor.
Ooh.
Oh,
Imagine having a solid floor. What's up? Where's the rust?
What are you talking about? Mine's solid
Do
too.
I have to go over there and stick my finger through your floor again?
Mine?
shut up.
Yeah.
Mine has a mine has a little bit now.
Richie called himself out there.
I sure did. I took immediate offense.
Just like when he's like, "You're not gonna find a single speck of rust on this thing. Would you like a rust chip, Cody?"
Okay, first off, that's my own doing because I'm an asshole, all right? That's totally different than what that poor old lady did when she owned it. It was mint then. Now, half the paint is fucking sanded off, half the fucking thing is dented and banged up. So a lot of the shit is from me, not just
Wait a
her.
minute. So you're not supposed to just like run under there with a can of Rust-Oleum Black and paint the floor or
It was-
the axle under the Jeep?
It was bedliner, okay?
You
And-
bedline your axle. Oh my god.
No, I think only my floor is bedliner. If he was talking about
Okay.
me or if he was talking about himself.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
you're gonna
about
have fun taking
myself.
that
I
out.
ran under there with a can of Rust-Oleum and painted it under the Jeep because I was just out of time.
Oh God.
It's beautiful.
The underside of my my whole new floor, I hate to say it, is it's got primer on it, but we didn't hit it with paint everywhere. So the paint
Ram.
is sitting in most places, but not everywhere. But it's totally fine because it's got an oil bath at this point. Because both the seals on I think the front and rear seal on the 205 have already gotten fucked up. I must have put the front one in sideways or some shit because I know I was in a rush to get that one. And then the back one had a hole in it to begin with, and I drove it to North Carolina. So it was just slinging oil the entire time.
It's fine. It's fine.
It is.
Everything is fine.
Yep.
So, on another note, speaking of North Carolina and the South, I got my AC fixed. You ready for what was wrong with the fucking air conditioning on my truck?
A fuse.
Wasn't plugged in.
No. Nope. Schrader valve let go.
Oh.
Really
So
Yeah.
it just emptied its entire contents?
Yep.
interesting.
Yep,
Al
it was.
Gore is going to hate you.
Al
All
Gore
those
is going to be
greenhouse
hating me.
gases.
Don't
But
say too loud. We might get a fucking bill in the mail from Connecticut.
You might.
Have you guys
Yeah.
heard about what happened to like PFI Speeds or any of those guys down in Florida?
Nope.
Big name
I don't know
shop
who that
that's-
is.
So they're big name shops down in Florida. One of them is a diesel shop. Another one is I believe it's a drag racing shop. Pretty much what they do is they sell things that eliminate your like cats or any exhaust stuff like that. And they got big like $200,000, $400,000 fines from the EPA from it. It's fucking crazy.
Damn.
Yep. So definitely gotta. That's why the only reason I'm interjecting
Well,
that is because we're talking about.
That's a
his-
fine line, right? On a
Mhm.
new car with a cat, like companies that are, I hate to say it because like it shouldn't be a thing, right? It shouldn't matter. You should be able to cut off. It's your vehicle. You should be able to do what you want. You should be able to pay a shop to do what you want to it. But at the same time, like those shops that do that, they know what they're doing, right? You're cutting off the emissions stuff on a 2021 vehicle. Like it's one thing if it's an oldie. Like that's my thing is working on something that's 5 years old or newer. To me, it's like I can get why you do it. It's too rich for my blood, right? I'd rather just work on the poor person shit, and then you don't have to worry about emissions anyways. At least here in Mass. So yeah,
My
it's
take on that
fine
is if it is for off-road use, it should not matter.
yeah,
But
if it's a race car, if it's a custom thing, and you're using it's a newer car platform that you're using to race or do something, sure.
The difference
crazy.
is though is if it has a VIN tag, it was designed by the maker to be ran a specific way, and the government signed off on it. That's the problem. If you have something that doesn't have a VIN tag, you're good to go. There's no questions asked. There's no problems. It's just when you make something that is designed to go onto vehicles that are meant to drive on the road, boom, until you have a problem. Even if it's off road, they still are fucking dickheads about it.
Yep.
so that's why you work on clap wagons and you put newer motors into
Exactly.
older clap wagons.
And
Mhm.
old cars are way cooler than new cars, anyways, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Uh, it's more character. I fall asleep in new cars. They're too boring.
Not the Kias, dude. The Kias are so uncomfortable. There's no way you're falling asleep in it.
The
I'm
what?
not even kidding, dude. Like Kia
The new
Sorento,
Kias?
dude, horrible. My grandmother's got one. I know we are way off topic.
Off-road, we're talking about our Kia Sorentos over here. We gotta
Well, like,
chop the cat off of that?
But I know that like my mom borrowed her car one time to, and like I went with her to go pick her car up because it was broken down. And dude, I'm sitting in it for like 20 minutes the longest, and my knees are hurting, my hips are hurting. Like it is bad. It is bad how uncomfortable they are. It's so weird. But anyways, we could talk about this stuff.
Yeah, the Kia Sorento. Oh, what a
Yeah,
segue.
off road.
Yeah. Okay, who's putting 1 tons under their Kia Sorento?
Let's do it.
Hey,
Let's do it. I've already said, dude, if I win the lotto, I'm buying a brand new Trackhawk, cutting it like cutting the shit out of it, and it's getting 1 tons. I feel like that'd be sick.
I don't
I don't know
if
who would do it, but I'd have to pay somebody to do it. But fuck it, it'd be sick.
it's gonna happen eventually. Somebody's gonna. I don't know if it's ever been done so far, but that'd be kind of cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be down with that. I
Great
don't like
idea.
the style,
get a
but you know,
custom
minivan on 1
Atlas.
tons is still
Come-
cool.
But you have a minivan on 1 tons. What do you mean? A Cherokee?
Yeah, but
is
it's
just
an
a mini
old minivan, and it's not a
Wow.
minivan. It's a wagon.
It's a wagon. Well, that reminds me of
technically,
like,
it would be a sport utility vehicle.
It's
oh my
basically a
God,
wagon. If you compare it, you've seen the memes where they compare the
Volvo.
Volvo to a factory
Yeah.
Cherokee, right?
I
Or not the lifted
mean,
Cherokee, but right, it's the same thing. And if you look at a factory Cherokee, they look slammed. You're like, what the fuck? I'm used to it being like 27 inches off the ground from stock.
And I honestly I do that every single time. Every time I see one or like my buddy Austin has one. Every time I'm seeing it, I'm just like, damn, these things are so small when they're stocked. Like how like if you look under there though, Jeep did a damn good job making sure everything fits so well with such little room. Like it's pretty
Well,
impressive to
that's
be
the
honest with you.
engineer's jobs. They're getting paid for that. Like,
yeah,
I'd
and then
hope.
us backyard fucking hicks show up and we're like, let's jack this thing 4 inches in the air, punch the wheelbase out fucking 10 inches, and put 40s on it.
Yeah, listen, if I was getting paid
Exactly.
like 50 an hour to design car chassis, like, damn right it's gonna be compact. Like, eh.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm still kind of disappointed with the Bronco, though. If we're getting on the conversation of new vehicles, they fucked up. They did so good back in, I think it was 2020 is when they first started talking about it. They just released it in
I saw
2021,
one.
right?
It looks ugly as sin
Dude,
in
like
person.
what the fuck happened to the one that they were showing at King of Hammers? Like the one that actually looked dope. You actually had lockers, and actually you could take the top off of it.
They exist.
They
Nobody buys
offer
those ones though.
they offer two. They offer like a fucking economy one, and then they offer the party one, and they're
Oh,
separate. It would be like comparing, say, like a renegade with a Rubicon.
oh, okay,
Um,
okay, yeah, I guess you're right.
Wait, so there's two
so
different body styles? Or
yeah,
Kind of, yeah.
okay.
Like
yeah. There's one where it's like more of a they
Defender.
took, yeah. It's like built off of the F-150 chassis compared to built off of their like Escape and
Okay.
other
I've only seen
chassis.
the
Are
Escape chassis one then.
Thing.
are you guys talking about the Bronco Sport and the Bronco, or two different Broncos?
It might be the Bronco versus the Bronco Sport.
Because the
I'm not
Bronco
sure.
Sport looks like utter trash, and it came out a little bit before the Bronco.
Ah, there they go. Yep.
So that I mean,
And
it makes no sense though. You have like a beautiful platform that like I mean, it was all over social media. Everybody was talking about it. You had really good people behind it. So for them to just turn around and just absolutely like put one that like it literally looks
Well,
like dog
see,
shit. Like it really does.
I didn't know it was two different body
Yeah,
styles
so
or
there's
body configurations. So that changes it a little bit for me, right?
yeah, the
Kind of stupid that
Bronco.
they're going to call two cars, two totally different vehicles, the
Yeah.
Bronco, but whatever. I
Well,
digress.
hold on, quick thing before Luke gets into it because I think Luke actually looked up the answer. But then you also have to look at Ford when they did the Mustang. There's literally a fucking Mustang Mach E that's an SUV.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's their new way of like maybe they're just taking everything and shrinking it down into
It's
Well, it's
yeah,
all about the name, right? You people buy cars for the name. You want a Bronco, but you don't want the
yeah.
off-road Bronco. You want the SUV Bronco. Like, I guess that's what the off-road one is too. But
So the Bronco itself is a bit bigger, and to me it looks like it's built off of a 150 chassis. And they have like all the way up to like say the Wild Track or the whatnot, where they come with 35-inch tires from the factory, with bead locks on the Wild Track. What
It,
we are seeing commonly driving around is the Sport, which is,
the little guy.
yeah, it's the little guy, and it's a SUV. But part of the reason I believe that they are doing this, and I could be totally talking out of my ass, is there is a certain regulation for non-fuel efficient vehicles. You have to build XYZ amount of fuel efficient vehicles. This one,
yeah. That makes a lot of sense though, in all honesty.
yeah, and so
I
like sorry, go on, kids.
I I just wanted to say real quick. I posted a comparison picture in the general on
Oh,
the Discord for you guys to look at.
Let's.
holy shit, dude! That's like
Wow.
that's what I mean. Like the one on the
That's
right
a
looks
massive difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's for the people who can't Well, actually, if we want, we could post this on the Instagram so that way they know what we're talking about. Like this is a genuine side by side comparison, and like the body lines are different, the grills are different. Like, how do you make something on the
Yeah,
right
that's
that,
not
like,
even
to
the
me,
same car.
yeah, that excites me, you know?
Completely different sizes, like Luke was saying.
No
Yeah,
shit.
I
So
haven't seen
that's
the
cool.
actual one. Then I just saw like
Yeah.
the. Oh,
It's kind of
jeez.
like when Ford had the Bronco 2 in production at the same time as the OG or the big body style Broncos. Think
Yeah.
similar comparison to
I guess.
that.
The Sport really does kind of look like whatever Jeep that was that Jacob had at my house.
The
last year.
Renegade?
Renegade.
He's got a little
Renegade.
Yes.
Renegade.
It looks to me it kind of looks
Yeah, it's like the
that.
Renegade version of the Bronco. If the Renegade was supposed to be like the Wrangler, which it's not.
But the
No, it's the
Sport,
new Cherokee.
No,
the
it's
Bronco
not.
Sport
I don't know what
doesn't
it
have.
is. It's like the
It
new
doesn't have
Nissan
a-
Cube. Sorry, Richie, I keep cutting you off.
The Bronco Sport doesn't have a removable top, no removable doors. It doesn't have any of those kind of like off-roady belt and whistles.
Does the
It's
new
just the Bronco that does.
does the Bronco have a removable top?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it like
Yeah,
easy to
it's
take off,
literally-
or do you need a crane? Is it a
No,
soft
it's
top?
like- it looks
it's
just like
like a JK.
Yeah, it literally looks just
I
like
think
a
it comes off in pieces.
No,
if I'm
no,
not
no.
mistaken.
If you've never taken off an original Bronco top, you don't know
No.
the pain and suffering that is Bronco hard tops.
Okay, so it has
Like-
new lightweight material being used in the
Oh.
manufacturing of it, not shit from the fucking 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah, it's composite,
And
you know,
I'm-
not
I'm
fiberglass.
pretty sure I could be wrong, but I think it comes off in pieces, so you're not removing the entire roof
Okay,
in
so
one
it's like
shot.
puzzle piece Bronco.
No, it's like a JK. The JKs are the
Yeah.
same thing. The two front sections come off, and then the rear section comes off after.
Isn't
that
that the JL now that does that? Not
No,
the
the
JK?
They both do.
JLs do that too.
Yeah, they both do that.
Oh, I didn't know the JKs had it too.
Well, the JKUs. I don't know about just the JKs.
Yeah, those are probably small enough that you could do
Oh,
that with
yeah.
2 people and not die.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I can. They're cool, but like it just kind of brings it back to the same idea of just like it's cool that they're making something like this, but why haven't we seen any? Like, why is it always just the sports? Do people genuinely
Cost
just
difference.
cost difference?
The Broncos are fucking expensive.
No,
Yeah,
they're not. I
so,
thought they were
like-
fairly affordable.
It said 28
Uh,
grand. It said 28 grand.
2021 Bronco, the Badlands edition starts at 42 grand. I'm going back now. I can't believe we totally derailed this fucking.
The Bronco podcast now.
Yeah, Ryan's gonna have a good time with this. The webpage is absolutely crashing here.
Oh Jesus!
So the base model starts at 28.5.
Being the sport or the Bronco?
Like the Bronco, like the bigger Bronco, the base starts at 20 whatever I said, 28.5.
Yeah.
And then the Bronco Sport, the base model for that starts
I don't
at
need.
27.
What is this? An ad? I don't want to know all the prices. Just give me like
Oh.
the range is like 20 something to 40 something or more.
Yeah.
Probably, you can probably go as high as you want. I'm sure they've got a $90,000 fucking package.
The most expensive one is 50.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not horrible though. That's really not bad.
I thought they were more expensive.
I'm pretty sure the Wranglers are more expensive, but I don't know. I don't buy new cars.
I'm just an autistic toaster that spits out numbers, so leave me alone.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Luke actually has the newest vehicle out of any of us.
Yeah, he
What
does.
year is yours?
No,
Yours?
12.
Cody might.
Oh, I have an 11. Dang it. But yeah, you got me beat. That you do.
I was talking to him. I was talking to my dad earlier this week, and we realized that the J20 is the least leaky of all my vehicles, and it's also the oldest. I don't know how. I mean, it's not that it doesn't leak; it just leaks less than the other one.
Hold on. That's not true because I was gonna say when we went camping, you crawled underneath it and you came out and you had oil across your face.
Okay, yeah, no, exactly. It doesn't not leak. It's got exhaust leaks, but those don't count because those don't drip on the ground. Nobody can see those; they just hear them. But everything else just leaks like a sieve. Got massive puddles under everywhere the other two park. But the
So,
J20
why
was
don't you
pretty
build
decent.
that thing into an overlander?
I'm not building it into an overlander. It's a dump truck. It's not getting overland stuff. I will put my sleeping roll in the back of the dump bed and sleep in my just
Wait a
rough
minute.
it
So that
like
means
it's meant to
Until
be.
you get dumped out.
I thought I'd be dumped out when we were on the Saco. I was literally begging for it, and nobody dumped me out.
If I
I was a
was
little
there,
upset.
I would have fucking dumped you.
I
Yeah.
would have hoped.
Dude, first off. He woke up like the earliest because he was cowboy camping, so he was literally laying up like upwards, facing the sun. So right as the sun came up, he was just like, "Boop, yep, ready to go."
I would have gotten up before the sun then.
I don't know if you would have.
Like it was like everybody was just like dead to the world there. But anyways, like yes, trust me, I was the one in my head who I'm like, oh yeah, we're dumping Graham out of this. I knew I was doing it. But then just like I'd wake up and he's like walking around, like slumping around, like drinking a water and just like, oh, you're finally alive.
Yeah.
Cool, dude.
I've been up for like 2 hours.
Yeah, dude. Not to mention, he showed us his smartwatch thing. He slept like 4 hours one night and like
Yeah.
3.5 the night after. Like I don't even know how like this
It
dude
was so
surviving.
bad. It was bad.
Horrible.
Yep. Anyways,
Have a kid and you can wake up anytime
Fair enough.
and just
I guess that's a
be up for the day.
yeah, I don't want to do that. Not yet.
It's not fun.
I don't think it would be. I do not envy you.
do not envy you. Jesus.
Okay, well, I got one more Bronco thing to add. Is we've been me and Jacob, and it's not about new Broncos, so it's okay. It goes back to.
Is it though? It's a Bronco. We've already established your hatred for him,
Oh,
so
I mean, I honestly didn't hate on the Bronco when I was cleaning up this Dana 20. I posted it on my Instagram, it all apart. But we literally probably spent like 3-4 hours cleaning that stupid thing because it was literally caked in Texas clay or whatever. Like
literally,
literally caked. We're talking like an inch in spots. Like I didn't even know some bolts existed because it was like clay caked on and then baked in Texas heat, and then it just looked like it was part of the casting. So I was taking literally this razor blade, scraping it off. We degreased it like 10 times, and there's still dirt on it. Like I wanted to paint it, but I can't get all the dirt off. Right?
Degreasing products.
What degreasing products do you recommend? We're using
Well, I'm just
a couple
asking if
different
you are
ones.
using the best because you simply need to use the best for Texas mud.
I guess. You
God.
really do.
Graham,
That shit
I have
doesn't
a
come off.
question. How did you end up with one from Texas?
That's
Someone bought it.
yeah, one of Jacob's customers has bought this thing. The body is in excellent shape. They redid it all. A couple things questionable here and there, but overall it's in pretty good shape. It looks nice. But they didn't do anything to the drivetrain. So the whole thing was putting a new motor, transmission in the thing, and the transfer case was coming off of the old one. Well, the transfer case was filthy, and it's been sitting on the bench for a while because nobody wants to clean it up and nobody wants to rebuild it. And
Gotcha.
I took the initiative and started on that because it was really hot, and my other option was cutting and grinding and welding in the 90-degree heat, and that's not really that fun compared to.
So it sounds like you
scraping a
took the
transfer
bitch route.
case. Oh yeah, I definitely did, but
As the one that was doing yard work instead of working on his Jeep.
Sue me.
Okay, I will see you in court.
At least I do my yard work instead of hiring fucking Jose.
Wow, I thought you were gonna be fucking worse about that. To be honest with you, when you said, I'm like, damn, what's he about to say, huh, Richie? I was like, what are you about to
What
say,
did you
Richie?
think I was gonna
Dude, I
say?
don't know the way you said it, I'm like, damn, this is about to get crazy out here. Like, holy shit, dude. No, but like, okay, first off, anyways, I don't care about who the fuck you are. I don't care what color you are. There's no way you're doing better yard work than a fucking like any Hispanic dude. They are the best fucking workers. I don't care who you say you are. Those dudes, I don't like. I'm not even kidding though. Like some of like my coworkers have been the best when they're like Hispanic descended. Swear to God, hands down. I'll I'll scream that to the rooftops. I don't give a fuck. Anyways, let's get back to
I was
our.
just trying to think of something that Luke couldn't turn around and like bury me with. Okay.
How did we go from transfer
don't
case to
know,
like
bro.
yard work?
I
Because
don't.
I made fun of Richie for not working on his Jeep and doing yard work over the
Okay, yeah,
last
doing yard
weekend
work. Well,
instead.
listen, Father's Day, Dad wants to do yard work. Dad can do yard work. I probably should have been swapping the gas tank on the Delta 88, but I was not. So, next Father's Day maybe.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Dad, you missed it this year. Gotta wait a whole nother one.
Oh, that's a whole other story. I won't even get into that. But
Uh,
yeah, long story short with this Dana 20, I pulled it apart. We cleaned it up. It was, it just needs to go back together. That was most of my Sunday. I was we were at a get together that got a little out of hand for me, so I was a little hungover on Sunday. So it was a slow day, and in the heat, it didn't help. Um, but I've also got some other stuff kind of floating around. I've got sliders that I'm putting on a buddy of mine's Jeep, the purple one that's been in there forever. Uh, Trying to get those done. I've got an interesting uh, thing I want to try with that. I'm using. I don't have 2x4 or 2x6, and I'm not sure that he would. That's what he wants to do, and I kind of want to keep it looking more factory. It's a pretty clean Jeep as it sits right now. So what I'm doing is taking some 2x2 that he already bought, and we have some 2x2 that's in the form of a slider that you'd get for like a bolt-on rocker, or I guess bolt-on, but it would be weld-on in this case because he's got the stiffeners. We'd weld it on below the rocker. But his rockers were rotted out. We chopped them out, and we've been trying to figure out what to do with the things. Well, I've got the brand new chunks of 2x2, which are in better shape than his sliders are. I was going to use those initially. I looked at the metal. It's not bad, but it's not what I'd use if I was doing a rocker set on my Jeep, so I'm not going to put them on his Jeep. So we've got this other stuff. I think if I angle it to the factory angle on those rockers, I can get it to look pretty much factory. I don't know how much work at the ends it's going to take to make it fit in. We'll see. But the other thing that I was running into there is the floor kind of comes down at a pretty sharp angle, and it doesn't give you a lot of space, especially if you're not using a 2x4 or something like that. And I've seen a lot of people do really narrow angles, or they just put a square plate out and weld the slider to the top of that. Luke, I think that's what you did on yours, or is yours butted to the side?
what? For the slider, mine attaches to the unibody at the bottom of the door sill. I kicked mine out, and with the 2x5, I have like a 1.5 inch gap from how far they're kicked out, so they're just welded on top there.
Okay, yeah. So yours is basically what I'm thinking. And I think that's what Mark ended up doing, or something similar to that as well. He's got like it comes straight out, but it goes up. And mine is way too ridiculous. And I don't want to cut into the floor on this thing either, because the interior is actually in really good shape. So I would hate to.
Also, reduction of
Floor
total
space.
amount of work being done.
Reduction of work, but at the same time, if I do that, then it comes to the question: well, can you keep the carpet? And I'm not going to make him choose to not keep his carpet because I was lazy and didn't want to build something that went around the factory floor. When you can do that, right? It's different when it's my Jeep and I'm like, I already don't have a carpet. Because I left it out in the rain for too long and it got moldy and I wasn't going to clean it up because it was absolutely destroyed. So we don't have a carpet anymore. His carpet is in good shape. He just cleaned it up. We just put it back in. If I have to notch the floors, I have to take it out again, make sure it doesn't catch on fire, and notch like slightly into the floor, which is just going to be, sealing that's going to be not difficult, but it would take a significant amount of time. And then I don't even know what the, how the floor would look after the fact, if the carpet would sit in there okay. It would probably cover it, but I don't know. So what I'm going to do is put a slight bend on some tube that I have. We've got plenty of tube floating around, and try to, sort of rib this thing in. I'll probably put 5 or 6 struts back to the stiffener and get that in there. I know he's thinking about doing a cage in the future, so I don't know how structural I can make it to the slider. That's where I'm at right now with it. Is I want to give him options if he wants to end up doing that at some point, but
Well, it's stiffened, right?
it is stiffened fully.
So why not just weld some legs in, and then when you go to do the cage, just drop the cage down onto the legs. Put a set of legs right where you think the B-pillar would be.
Or just drop it onto the unibody.
Well, yeah, that for the B pillar, I'm thinking, B pillars. I'll figure that out. That I can put the tube where it needs to be, sort of by the factory B pillar, a little bit back because it's a 4-door. And my biggest concern is the front one, because I don't know how far I'm going to have that stick out in the front. And I could probably do like a double kicker, right? Have something go to the frame at a gradual angle, and then have something come down to the slider if it doesn't stick out far enough. But I don't know yet. I might just set it up so I can add tube to make that work, if that becomes the case. But I
would definitely
I don't want
ask
to put
about
myself in a
that
corner
before
there.
you do that. If he wants to put a cage in it, build around putting a cage in it and explain why things are the way they are.
Yeah. So that's sort of where I'm at with my
Or you die
projects
like
here.
a man and don't put a cage in it.
I mean,
I'm just kidding. That's a horrible idea.
this thing could be capable for sure. Once we get it all dialed in, it's gonna be a pretty sweet Jeep.
Wait a second. You're talking about other people's Jeeps. Does that mean your Jeep doesn't need anything for Badlands?
Oh, no, it does.
Oh
It
God,
does.
what are you doing, dude?
I may have to pull the EcoBox in the 205.
What the? Why?
The EcoBox is popping out of gear
Oh,
when
God.
I'm on a downhill. I don't know why. I'm really, really hoping I can put it up on the lift, adjust the linkage, and get it to stop acting up. But I have a feeling that something on the inside there with that shift collar is all fucked up, and it's not working right. I don't know how it would have been fucked up. It's literally, I mean, if you've ever looked at one of these things, it's a a shift piece that they give you. You put all the factory components in. You literally can't mess it up if you follow the instructions. I guess unless you're me, if that's the case.
Well, you're a nerd, so we expect you to have some issues with the mechanical side of things.
Oh no, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I do.
Well,
Maybe I do.
So my
I'm just fucking with
professional
you.
advice to you, Graham, here is just go uphill.
Oh no, that's usually what I'm doing. But Badlands has some pretty significant downhills, and it would be
Just
a damn
don't go
shame.
down them.
Listen, if I'm not going
Ju-
down
just keep
Armageddon,
going up and up
I
and
might as
up.
well just not even go.
Well, you
Going
should
down
go up
Armageddon is like one of the
Armageddon.
highlights. I should go up Armageddon. You're right.
But
I'm-
is it
I'm-
possible that the detent was just off? I honestly think that you might have something stupid going on with like the detent itself or the detent spring that needs to get just looked at.
Maybe. You're not wrong. But before I went to Kish's a couple weekends ago, I took, and getting to the detent because of the floor situation is very difficult because there's not a lot of space, and you need to get a Phillips head to loosen this thing, and then there's you need a hex thing on the side to loosen it, and then you tighten it with this Phillips head plug at the top that I think pushes things in. Again, it's sitting on top. I can't see it, and I've only got about 1.5 inches, 2 inches worth of, not even 2 inches worth of clearance. between the floor and the top of this EcoBox
Cut an
plug
access
thing.
hole.
I'm probably gonna need to, but again, I don't know because I can't figure it out. Essentially what happens, I'll just describe it, I guess, is I'll be driving and I don't necessarily have to be going. I just normally on the road, I can be driving the thing, and if I engine brake too hard, right, downshift and engine braking, it will occasionally be enough force that pops it out of gear. So there's something going on with the way it's torquing those pieces in there and pulling things and pulling it out. And I can if I put my hand on the shifter, I can get it to move, or I can feel it move, back and forth. It's like that like you were saying, Luke, it feels like the detent isn't holding it in place. But there's a lot more movement than what that detent should be allowing to begin with. So I don't know if that's what's going wrong with it. Which is why I just want to fucking take it apart and figure out what the hell it's doing.
I mean, with most other mechanical things that I've dealt with, play is sometimes a good when things are too taut.
It is, but it's too much play because if I don't, that's the thing is if I'm holding my hand against it, even with one finger, it won't pop out. But if I don't, do that,
to me it sounds
it'll
like
pop
you
out.
just need to tweak your detent.
Maybe.
But
I've already.
I'm just dumb.
Like I said, I thought I tweaked it, so I thought I had tightened it.
Maybe loosen.
But I should probably drill an access hole and try again, I guess. I'll start there. That'd be way, way easier than taking out the whole fucking assembly. It would not be fun.
Assuming you drill the hole in the right spot.
Well, I mean, I know where to drill. I can use my brain and visualize where the hole needs to be, and if I mess up, I can always put more metal in.
Listen, Grant. Have you seen my my frame rails from where I tried to drill a hole to get at my upper control arm bolts?
Yeah, well, you're
After I
special.
sealed them, I knew where the hole had to go.
Oh,
It was
You gotta
sure
pretty,
you
fix
did.
that.
yeah, it was pretty off. Just a little.
Gotta
I
fix
think
that.
one of my holes was like an inch off.
Answer the damn question. Are you gonna fix it?
Fix what?
your
He's
hole
never gonna fix
that you
it.
drilled
No.
in the wrong
Okay,
spot.
answered.
Well, no, but
There's no
I
shame
did
in having access
it.
flaps. I had access
Yeah,
flaps in
no,
my
it's
frame rails up
how
until I
ugly
plated
they
them.
are because it's got like slits cut in it, and then he just hammered it over.
Perfect. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Oh,
I was really mad. Okay, I are caveman.
Yeah, it's okay. You're good.
IR caveman.
You are perfectly fine.
No, he arcade man. He just admitted.
No,
to
no.
it.
See, you just couldn't see a lot of the caveman stuff my Jeep used to have because I had those Jeep floor mats that I RTV'd to the ground, so you couldn't take them off. So you couldn't see the holes.
Guys,
That's
want to hear
amazing.
something amazing, like absolutely amazing. So Marvell was doing his front stiffeners this weekend, and I come over, dude. The fucking welds on this thing are perfect. I don't know how the fuck he does it, dude. Like legitimately, every weld like penetrated the unibody, perfect. The fucking stiffener, perfect. I'm just like, how the like?
It's almost
I-
like when you do something for work, you get really fucking good at it.
But like, how the fuck?
That's
he
what I was
did
just
that,
gonna
dude?
say.
Mind you, he's also using a Miller 220, so like he can set it.
What machine does he have?
He's
Out of
using his
curiosity.
Miller. It's a Miller welder. I don't know.
Oh my god,
I don't
I don't
know.
even know what the model is. That's a
I don't
shame.
Oh, why am I
I
supposed
mean,
to know? It's not my
I
welder.
know I'm acquiring.
He's
loops.
using a professional grade machine.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
but still, this dude, and he's using 330 wire. Is that a thing?
30 wire.
30 wire. There we go.
There you
I
go.
knew there's a 3 and a 0 somewhere in there. But like, I'm fucking impressed. Like,
Well, it's
hands
amazing what a
down,
good
I'm-
welder will do for you too, right? You're
Yeah,
working
I know.
with. I guess at Luke's shop you're using a pretty decent welder, unless it's shit. I'll find out. Can't be worse than the one I'm using now, though. And I
No,
can make that thing look half decent.
all of my welds are operator error. I can attest to that without a fucking doubt. Because this man can weld dimes, and then there's just me, just like,
Squirt gun.
There's something we said, and it's said all the time on the internet. Is it's all about just practice.
Practice.
Welding is just practice. It's not something
Yeah.
that you are intuitively good at in most cases. You kind of just have to play around with it and learn and get better.
Yeah, also, there are certain mojos that make my welds look far better, but, those are best discussed off air. Sit down and put some Bob Marley on and just,
Jazz cigarette.
But no, you're in Massachusetts doing it. It's legal. You're fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
legal in Connecticut now.
It is.
But either way, I just when I saw those welds, I was like, fucking good effort, dude. Like hands down, I was very impressed with them. And the damn hooligan stiffeners, those cocksuckers are thick. Like with a Q. Like they are some thick. I forget exactly what it is, but it's
They're
size of-
316s.
Did he get the
Size of
full hooligan set?
Yeah, no,
Front
he
to
just
back?
got the wrapper. No. God, no. That's like $1,400 or something. Fuck that.
No,
He
it's
paid-
not. No way. It's probably like
What?
500.
Yes, he did. What?
$1,400 for the full hooligan stiffener set.
Yeah.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, yeah.
What? No
yeah,
way.
Yeah, it's definitely very. These aren't even like.
You're talking, Graham, about the one that has like the front cross member too, right?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Let's
I
put
don't-
it this way. Just the fronts without the wraparounds is $350. So if that gives you a rough idea of like what it is, it's not cheap at all. So yeah, so the mids, sorry, I'm trying to quickly. The fronts are $275 without the wraparound. The mids are $275 with the just the normal style, and the
Mhm.
rears are $275. So you're looking at almost like $900 without all the extra shit that the fronts give you. If you get the front, like
Okay. Well, that
Pretty
seems
fucking
like it's
crazy.
increased in price then, because I don't remember it being that expensive back in the days before COVID. So,
Back in the day.
Well, you
back
also
when
got to
things
keep
were
in
cheap
mind,
and parts were
steel's
plentiful.
gone up.
Yep.
Yep.
yeah. It's crazy.
Speaking
Oh,
of
speaking
stiffeners, though, speaking
gonna
of
say-
stiffeners, I still haven't gotten my King off-road stiffeners that I was initially trying to get months ago for the when I was having my track bar issues to try and.
have you had contact with them at all?
No, I haven't reached out. I don't. I mean,
I
I
think-
I
so
do
if you
care,
don't-
but I don't really care because I'm not going to use them at this point. I would probably end up
Then-
selling the wraparound chunk and using the inner plate on mine to kind of strengthen that section. But then again, who fucking knows? I probably won't get them in time, if ever.
Dude.
I mean, I should probably call them, but
Buckley is still on. He's on 3.5 months for his rear bumper for a dirt
what
bound.
bumper is he trying to get? The
A
dirt bound one?
dirt bound cut and fold.
Well, if he
3.5
wants,
months.
I know Rob has a JCR rear bumper.
Hey, I'm talking to Rob about that.
Okay, I told Rob to talk to you, but I wasn't sure if you
so
wanted
you're
it.
the one that did.
Yes, that was me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I just saw how much you smashed it. I know the bumper because it was mine originally. So,
But yeah,
Do you
it's
have a
pretty
picture of
fucked up.
it? I'm just waiting for Rob to send me a picture before I tell him yes, I'll take it.
it's just the JCR bumper. It literally looks probably exactly the same as your dirt bound, except
Or
it's
just
JCR.
go and find some of the older pictures of Graham's stuff. Give me a
That's what I'm
second, and I'll-
But anyways, so he calls them, no answer. Goes to an automated thing. There's literally no way to talk to a real person. Goes to an automated thing. It tells, oh, it's in manufacturing at the moment. It'll get shipped to you as soon as possible. Sends an email, got the exact same response. He's like, I don't know what to fucking do at this point. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna wait. He's like, but I haven't heard anything. He's like, I haven't heard anybody getting anything from them. Super sketchy.
Yeah. It goes a long way when you have just one person answering emails and giving a human response to the situation. I feel like most people are pretty lenient. It's just a lot of companies don't. They're not human about problems.
Yeah.
See that
I
in my
mean-
job a lot. I feel like that's why I get a pretty good rep. Is when we have issues, I'm not gonna give you this cryptic bullshit answer for having issues. We're having issues because of this and this and this, right? And then whoa, it's almost like people like that. You tell them what's going on and they're okay. It's communication, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, and it like speaking of the whole situation with like car parts not even being around, like I'm gonna have to get white body shocks for my Jeep because it's at least I know that I can get them. Like I'm gonna have to go through Amazon because at least I know when I go to Amazon, if it says it's in stock, it's in stock. It's fucked.
Yep.
But like I'm gonna have to get my Heims and my fucking track bar tube, like inch and a half or yeah, inch and a half tube. It's in fucking impossible. Barnes doesn't have it, or it says that it does, and then you actually put it in your cart, and then it's like, oh, you wait to hear from like further notice about it. Like it's fucking ridiculous right now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I'm glad I'm not trying to build like anything crazy. I just have
Yeah.
right. I'm just adding to what I've already built. Fortunately, for now.
Richie, I found a video showing Graham's bumper. I posted that for you.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, it's just a classic JCR bumper. There's nothing crazy
Oh,
about it. I didn't end up chopping it. I gave it to Rob. He was planning on using it for that Jeep truck he used to have. I don't know if he still has it, but if he does still have it, he went a different route and is not using that bumper. So,
Yep.
but it bolts right on up to an XJ, and I don't think I smashed it too much. So,
oh yeah, I mean
perfect.
it'll be good for whatever you. It was chunky too, wasn't it? It was a full size like the inside was welded up and everything, right?
Yeah, no, it's pretty well gusseted. I mean, it's a JCR bumper. They're pretty well made, all things considered.
Fair
Yep.
enough.
And so I don't know if you want to segue over, but we can talk about why my Jeep's not running.
Yeah, I was
It's
actually
because
about
you
to
suck.
ask. I was about to
Segment
ask.
over.
All right, segment. I was gonna ask about the how the fuel cell stuff went because I'm genuinely curious about that. It's something that I've always sort of thought about throwing in just because, but I could never justify it. And everybody always is, maybe not always, but I've had a few people be like, "You still have the factory gas tank? How do you not smash it up?" It's like, well, it does get smashed up. It hasn't broken yet, so it hasn't been a problem. But I'm at the point where it that's probably the next step in my rear suspension.
So the
world, so
fuel
I'm curious.
cell install went well. However, this is going to sound bad, but my Jeep's tweaked, so my cage is tweaked, so my shock mounts are tweaked, and I kind of eyeballed it into the center, so it's not perfectly center line. Other than that, if you open the hatch, though, it looks square, so that's good enough for me.
Mm.
Um,
Now,
other than,
to
sorry.
cut you off, having seen the thing, so we could go over the work that needs to be done a
Yep.
few weekends ago. I am slightly confused as to why you'd put the tank like in the position that you've got it in. Mainly just
Ease of
because
filling
you
it.
then destroy your like you have no storage space. Not that it's driven on the road too much, but I just
Ease
feel
of
like
filling it.
putting it there is like it just totally removes any.
Luke also never really stored anything in his Jeep, Graham.
Yeah, but that's
Um,
because he had the wheel wells wide open. He couldn't. But
well,
after the sheet metal work that will get done, which I'm excited to work on because we've got a lot of sheet metal tools that I didn't get to use on my shit, and I want to use them, so I'm going to use them on Luke's, hopefully, assuming the
so
time frame works out.
when I would store stuff in my Jeep, it would go behind the seats anyway, like axle shafts, tools, all of that stuff, and I would just load it from the front. I wouldn't load it
Mm,
from the back because I wanted to get it behind my B pillar where I've got that big node to keep anything hopefully from like just yeeting me in the back of the head.
yep.
So I would always store it low and up there. I wouldn't store anything really in the back at this point, and I've got everything set up in tool bags, so it was easy enough to just kind of like yeet it between the seats and then in the back around behind the node. So to me, the loss of storage, yeah, it fucking sucks if I'm being honest, but at the same time, it's not as big of a deal to me as the fact that like if I'm going to drive this thing on the road once I get it down there, I don't want to have to deal with jumping through Olympics to get it fueled up. It's got a 15-gallon cell and it gets 10 miles to the gallon. I will be filling it even if I drive it to work once a week.
Change your spark plugs. It did wonders for me. I went from like 9 to 12. I was impressed. Maybe I was just
Yeah,
driving it
I
like
mean,
not an asshole, but
last time I checked, it was getting about 12. So,
Okay.
and that was on the current motor. But to me, it was one of those things where it never was that big of a deal for me to actually care. If you catch my drift, it's like the drive shafts are still going to get zip tied to the crossbar. The axle shafts are still going to go behind the seat zip tied together. It's like the tool bag with the tools to change it are still going to go in between the seats and behind the node. So nothing's really changing about how I'm going to be storing my stuff
Okay,
anyway.
so your storage strategy allows for the tank to be where it is.
Yeah. Um,
And there's not really that much you could store in a Cherokee that does what that bounces around as much as
especially
yours or mine
with
does. Which is why I
uh,
unload fucking everything.
especially with the bar that's there. If I put
Mhm.
the fuel cell in front of the bar, I have to like basically back in at an angle to fill the thing. Whereas right now, I just pop the hatch and
Yeah,
put
you
my
just fill it
filler
up.
neck in it, and
Yeah.
it's good to go. Um, so that was the big motivating factor. The install was super easy. I had to get Permatex fuel resistant stuff to seal it because the rubber gasket that came with it allowed for too much slop in the pump. So that was
I've
just
heard that
not
though.
fucking acceptable.
I've heard
So
that
I
the gasket is supposed to be thrown out, and you're supposed to just use the fuel sealant. I
I
don't know why the
used the
fuck they give you.
gasket.
I don't know why the fuck they give you the gasket if you're not supposed to use it.
I tried the gasket on the other on the filler. I think
Mhm.
it'll work for the filler, but I also put a very small layer of the Permatex on the gasket. So
Yeah, I wouldn't trust just the gasket if not even Moto Built is like, yeah, use the gasket. Which I was follow a few guys on Instagram, and there's one guy I was following who was having issues with that, I think.
yeah. And I did opt for the ghetto fill method, so it's
Which
okay.
is what, just popping the top and then.
Popping the hatch and then popping the
At least that's guaranteed you can fill it. My so this is actually kind of a weird issue to have, but the tubes that I've got by my filler, as you know, if you've seen my Jeep, it's the filler is kind of like in this little nook of tube. And I was really concerned when I went to the gas pump for the first time, and I was like, "Oh shit, these stick out in a different way than I thought they did." So when I have to fill the Jeep up, I literally have to press the pump, like, or the filler head against the tube, and it almost doesn't fit. Well, as it turns out, in New Jersey and in some other random fucking states that clearly aren't using the standardized filler head thing, it doesn't fit. There, I went to a gas station in Jersey, and I was like, fill it up, and he was like, oh, it doesn't fit. I was like, you gotta kind of jam it, and they look at his nozzle thing. I get out, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that doesn't fit. So I just can't fill up my tank here.
What?
Sorry, I guess I'm leaving. It was concerning. So
Should have
that's
just
another.
got a hose
Yeah, I
or
mean
a
that's
funnel.
another reason why I've. Yeah, that would work too.
yeah.
I don't think in Jersey you can though. Jersey is super like it's a law that you can't fill your own
Oh,
tank.
I'll let them pull
I'm
the
sure that
trigger. But if I've got a funnel and yeah, I guess that'd work. But that's also stupid. I want to
Is
properly
that
set it
getting
up.
around the law?
no, but I'm just saying like
Yeah,
I
yeah, they
doubt
do the
they'd be like,
filling.
oh, I'll just. Dude, I doubt that they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll just fill it with a funnel. If it's illegal for you to pump your own gas, you like there has to be other laws against it. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, but they're not. They're not. The cops aren't at the gas station pulling you. Chaining you up. If you're pumping the gas, or if you're telling the attendant how to pump the gas, right? I don't know.
I
I'm not a
guess. I don't
resident
know.
of Jersey. We'd have to get um
The
Gruesome.
Jersey boys
the
back.
Jersey boys back on to to elaborate on that. See how fucked up that is. But so yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and another reason why I'm kind of looking towards a fuel cell and making a nice filler style that actually works, so you can actually fill it up at all gas nozzles. Odd segue, but
Odd segue indeed. So to finish the at this point incredibly long story, I went to go and start my Jeep after I got my fuel cell all or set up. No fuel pump. What the fuck is going on? This is what the fuck. holy shit, why do I not have fuel pressure? Why is the pump not kicking on? Okay. So I start Googling. The circuit for your fuel pump runs through your ABS, or not your ABS, through your airbag system. My airbag's totally disconnected. The ground's not even on it. Whatever. Okay.
No,
Um,
I'm gonna interject because I was on the phone call, and on this phone call when we were talking about this, I told you that couldn't be the case because my airbag module is not even connected to the fucking car. It's literally in my truck seat. Like it's just sitting there. It's not anywhere near the Jeep, and my fuel pump works totally fine.
I don't know, dude, because I had to pull those two fuses, and then suddenly I got fuel pressure.
Huh.
And then I discovered a
Now, when you
grievous
pull those
mistake.
fuses, does the airbag light turn on?
Yes.
Turn on? Okay,
Yep.
so that doesn't solve that. I want to turn the airbag light off because it's never going to turn off ever again if because I don't have an airbag module. So
The light bulb.
It's like
I just
four
don't want to do
screws
that.
and pop the light bulb.
I don't want to. It's too much
Okay.
work.
So electrical tape.
So
No, that's
just a
tacky.
little tidbit of information for the Jeep people out there, because I'm going to guess 90% of the people that listen to this podcast, all
I
nine
have
of
a
you,
Cherokee.
except for fucking Ryan, have a Cherokee. And
All 9 and then Ryan.
What about Chris? Chris doesn't have a Cherokee.
he had a Grand Cherokee. He's close enough.
Fair.
So one side of the nylon hose that comes off is 5/16. The other side is 3/8. So I grabbed two 3/8 connectors because I measured the fuel pump side. I went and I clicked the other connector on, and it felt a little bit soft, but like it clicked into position. So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, it's good. Cool. We're going to ship it. So I go,
I
I
know
get
how this
pressure to
goes.
the pump, and I sprayed fuel all over the ground under my Jeep.
Yep, this was on the pump side, right?
No, this was on the fuel line side because I've got a piece of 3/8 nylon, but it's steel braided for the
Oh, okay,
actual
so,
fuel
yeah.
line running through. So I've got two different size quick connectors that I need for it.
Yeah, those things can fuck you up sometimes. I had a this is another uh, wonderful story about my ship boxes. This is when I was little. It was a little Jeep. I commuted to and from Billerica. Thank God it was pouring rain, but I was coming back from work, and I had recently done a fuel tank or a fuel pump on the thing because I had one. I snapped the end off. I had to get a new one. It snapped the end off because something snagged it and just ripped it, and it just destroyed the pump. Got a new one. That one died. It actually didn't die. It just started leaking everywhere for no reason. I don't know where it was leaking from. It wasn't the seal. The pump just absolutely gave out and was leaking all over the place. Not from fittings, just from like the base of the pump. Odd. So I got another one. It was working great, working great. I was driving back from work in the pouring rain, and I smelled gas. And I'm like, well, weird. Must be running rich, right? When I watched my gas gauge start getting lower, and I'm sitting in traffic. Like, we're talking gridlock on 95. You know, it's an hour. You're probably sitting in traffic for an hour. I'm like, oh fuck! Like, I'm pouring gas out of this thing right now. Like, if it wasn't raining, it would have been terrifying to be behind this thing. So,
God.
the fitting had been connected for a while, but it must not have been fully connected because I literally all I had to do was pull over, reconnect it, and it was fine. It stopped. I lost like 3/4 of a tank of gas because I was sitting in traffic and I couldn't fucking get over. But you know, it is what it is.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was sketchy. So always make sure those fucking things are connected.
So on that note, one of the long-term plans for this is that I'm going to be going from the current setup, which is the rubber line with the plastic fittings, to I want to go to a fully steel braided, because I've got the steel braid around the outside right now. I want to go to a full steel braid, like built into the line itself, AN fitting line, and run that to the factory line, and then pick up from the long section of the factory line where it goes up and it's rubberized with the same thing to the fuel rail.
Okay.
So hopefully
It'll
that
clean.
will be it'll look clean, but it's also going to eliminate some of the problems that have come from the fact that like the fuel rail kind of had some rust issues on it, so it's just got the line, or I cut it off where the rust wasn't a problem, and it was like right in front of the bead, so there was no way I was going to get a good seal on that. So I just cut the bead off and I pushed on a rubber line, and it's got like 3 different hose clamps on it and
Yeah,
shit
to
like
keep it
that.
connected. Mine's got something now because my factory line is it cracked, so I got rid of it entirely and run a rubber line. But my rubber line leaks. It starts leaking once a year, probably sooner, but I just don't catch it soon enough. It doesn't leak very much, but just a little bit. If you bend it, it squirts a tiny bit of gas, and I always have to trim it. It's like once a year I have to trim it down. Otherwise, it just starts.
That's why I want to go to like an AN line that's fuel rated,
Yeah.
and just eliminate
I
the
mean, I'm using
problem.
fuel rated rubber, and I'm pretty sure those chintzy ass fucking steel braided ones just have rubber on the inside, and they
Yeah,
still
that's
leak. They still do stupid shit. But yeah,
no, I'm saying like one of the actually like almost like a hydraulic line.
okay.
You know what I'm talking about, where it's the multi-layered line, where it's got the metal mesh on the second layer and then the exterior layer. Going to that, not going with. I've got one of those chintzy lines right now just to get it like to your shop.
Hmm. Oh, great. So am I gonna have to install the nice one?
No, I'll install the nice one. I can do that at my new
Oh,
house.
that's right. Yeah, you can do that in your place.
Honestly, it might not even get done till after Roush if the other line's okay.
Exactly. Also, I'm kind of concerned with how close Roush is. I mean, we'll get it done. I will make sure it's done. But Jacob reminded me that Roush is only, September is
2.5 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not very far. We've
Yeah,
got
so get
2
going,
months.
Graham.
I know, I know. I'm trying
If
to
not,
clear
oh
other
well.
things out. No, it'll be done. It'll be done. I got my shit done fucking fast, and I don't even have to do the hard shit on yours. It's just flooring. So, you don't need to worry, but it is going to be a little bit of a crunch for me
Yep.
and Jacob. But
You'll make it happen.
yep,
No stress.
you're entrusting it. It will get done. I just didn't realize it was so close. Like I figured September, that's the end of that's like fall, right? Well, we're we're partially
We're
part of the way through
8
summer
days
now.
away from July.
Mm.
I know. I fucking keep thinking that Badlands is like a month away.
No,
No.
very
No.
close.
It is very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some other stuff going on. Oh, I gotta make sure that's all good too. I gotta take some time off. Going to Maine. Like I think it's right after Badlands, so we'll see. Definitely need that.
Basically.
Okay, Richie, what did you do on your Jeep?
Nothing, asshole.
Oof.
Okay, well, other than the bumper, what's going on with yours? We know Cody's fucked up on his front end stuff because he got the wrong shocks, and that's sad. It's not like they're too short; they're just too fucking long. Like too short, you could deal with, but too long is like you're fucked.
I
Luke's
just have
Jeep
to
is a
come up
basket
with
case.
a front bumper.
You need to get something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
do you want Marvell to make you one? Because he's literally taking mine and making the exact same thing for himself. And it won't take much. He has the steel and he like all we would need is the small ass piece of 2x6. And he's taking mine, making the templates, cutting them out with a
Plasma cutter.
plasma cutter, and then just welding it together.
Who, Pezzo?
No, Marvell.
Oh, okay.
He's stealing
I
Pez's
appreciate
design,
the
though.
offer. I appreciate the offer, but I was just going to do the same thing myself.
Perfect. Okay. I just figured, I figured even if maybe I'll make a template out of cardboard for you or something if you want it. Like I have mine off, so I figured if anybody wants the measurements, might as well get it now.
No, see, I was going to make a template out of my old front bumper because I liked it. I liked that bumper. I just crunched it.
How bad's your unibody up there?
You know how
not too
the
bad.
front of the unibody like sticks out a little bit from that front cross member?
Yeah, where the two like bolt holes for your bumper are, or like the four.
Those folded over.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad
Yeah.
at all. Oh,
No,
okay.
it wasn't too
No.
bad.
That's like heat it up with a torch and throw a pipe wrench on it and just gently like massage it
Massage
back.
it out. Yeah.
There you go, man. Well, that's exciting. Anything else?
That is essentially right now all I need to be ready for Badlands. Is just so I have a front recovery point again.
Yep.
And then just go through and make sure all my spare parts are all set. And
You got spare
Yeah.
axle shafts because you're gonna need spare axle shaft.
I'm bringing 2 spares, so I'll have plenty.
but
I'll be giving
and-
you and Dan's axle shafts.
and I got I'm going to swap my grabber onto a different rim, the grabber that keeps going flat. I'm
Yeah.
going to swap that on a different rim so that way I'm not cucked by the Pro Comp at Badlands.
That's
Yeah,
a good
dude.
idea.
So then you'll just be cucked by the driver mod.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck those pro comps.
Yeah.
Listen, I can handle being cucked by myself, but I will not be cucked by a fucking Pro Comp.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
that's
that's
why I
fine.
gave them away as spares. Is because those tires just grab nothing. So
I mean, the Pro Comp
No,
is
they
still going to
pull
be at
at the
Badlands.
driver's heartstrings, just ripping it out slowly, inch by inch, out of your chest. They're great.
yeah.
Truly
I-
a humbling experience.
My favorite memory of those tires was me on
Selling
like a. Well, yes, that. But it was me on like maybe a 3% grade, and it was basically a flat trail with like this one little like dip that you had to get up. And I remember slamming through gears with like a little bit of snow on the ground and not moving anywhere. I was like, went first gear, I went second gear, I went third gear. The thing wasn't fucking moving. It was just standing still with those 4 fucking tires. I think Sean could attest to that story. And he told me I had to get rid of those tires if I wanted to stay in the club. So they became spares.
You really said that?
Yes.
Oh my god.
It was bad.
that
I wasn't
bad?
going
They were
anywhere.
Jesus.
They're that bad. In the winter, at least.
Solid. Almost Patagonia rated. Well, I was trying to find Kish that picture of your bumper from back in the day. I came across some Patagonia footage, and man, those tires fucking suck.
At least they have like tread notches in them. Those pro comps don't have anything left.
Solid answer, but on the other hand, like I should have been
Yeah, I
able
mean,
to like
the notches on the Patagonias are like, they took a
worthless.
knife and cut them up, and right there, like, oh, this is tread, right? Put
Yeah,
a hot knife and slice. Some.
Speaking of back in the day, Jess was cleaning up the bedroom earlier, and she actually found the 2 koozies that we got from that guy at Ma Bell the day that we met Mark.
that's hilarious.
The Jeep on CT ones, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeep on CT Street Crew, if I remember
Crew.
correctly.
Street
I think it
team.
was.
Oh, okay.
Street team, yep. Yeah.
What is a
it's
street
okay.
team?
Don't make fun of it.
I'm gonna make fun of everything because I'm in a existential state of dread at the moment. So everything's fair. game.
Luke's leaving the state. He doesn't care
That shouldn't be a state
what
of dread. That
fires
should
he
be like,
starts.
a state of joy.
It's
I mean, maybe
more
right
of
now,
a-
in the moment, I guess. Yeah. Fuck.
it's
moving.
more of the holy crap, we have been working on this for a solid week and like almost everything is packed up and ready to go, but at the same time, holy crap, there's still so much stuff to do.
Hmm.
How are you getting everything down there if your trailer is staying up here?
We're
U-Haul.
renting a U-Haul.
And then, so she's driving your truck, and you're wait. How does
Yep.
that work? Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
You're gonna have those radios going so you can talk to each other.
Something
With your
like
bow
that.
things?
The Bofang. He has one Bofang. He doesn't have two.
I got one
Should've bought another
Balfang.
Bofang.
He can talk
Um,
to us if he hooks up a
another
long
Bofang.
range radio. Little
Mm.
Bofang.
But we're doing that. The reason being, like, I was thinking about it. I would have to either build slant sides or do something to try and keep everything on the trailer better versus renting the U-Haul. And given the time frame, there just wasn't enough time.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Like,
And U-Hauls are relatively
No.
Oh,
No.
that's right. Never mind. Not for that distance.
No, they're prohibitively expensive for that distance, but given the time frame, there just wasn't time to do it. And then add in the fact that my Jeep would have to get moved afterwards, so I'd be paying to get a U-Haul to move my Jeep anyway, and having to find new
Yeah.
tires for it.
Yep.
Nah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fucking, I got bagged $2,000 for the U-Haul.
Jesus.
Yep. Like, today
Well.
was my last day of work, so it's official. But,
Oh, was it?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, next time we are on the podcast, if Luke is available, it will be from Tennessee. Just
It
gonna
will be.
hopefully you've moved in by then, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll be moving in. It's at the point now where it's like, yep, well, things are officially getting official now. Okay. Wow.
I will say, at least you're on the part of Tennessee that's still in the same time zone.
Yeah, that's going to be beneficial for me. There's you drive 35, 45 minutes away from where I'm at, and it rolls over an hour back.
Yeah.
So,
Like my sister, when she moved down to Tennessee, she moved to the part that is an hour behind us, and it fucked with my mom primarily real bad from constantly trying to like call my sister every day to talk to her, and then like fucking up the time and shit. Or like my sister would call up here and it's like, what the fuck? It's like 11, 12 o'clock at night. I'm trying to go to bed. Why are you calling me?
What's the time difference?
well, then it would be. It's
Couple
1
hours.
hour.
Oh, 1
It's
hour?
1
That's
hour.
not too bad. Right?
No,
That's
It is
easy.
when
You can
you're
do the
old
math.
and you're trying to go to sleep.
No, but
Fair
the math for your sister should be easy.
Yeah, but
Right? It's like, oh, it's an hour difference. It's a little different when you're like 6 hours, 7 hours. 6 hours actually. Is
no,
pretty
but
easy,
it's what was hard for them was going from being able to call and or text whenever to then having to think about what time it is. Because like I know it's stupid, but we eat dinner at my house pretty consistently at 6, and so no phones are allowed at the dinner table while we're eating.
Oh, so your sister would text, right?
My
text
sister would
your-
call at 5 o'clock her time,
Which is 6
and then
your time. So it
because
got
my
all-
mom
yeah, yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
answer, she would then call like 5 times in a row.
Does
Like,
your mom
why aren't
break-
you answering me?
Well, was your mom breaking the rule of no phones at the dinner table, or did she just ignore all of them?
Ignored all of them.
Okay. Well, she's a woman of her word. She was very brutal
No.
on Cody.
She is a person that does not want to be ridiculed by her son for being a hypocrite.
Yeah. There you go.
And I jump at that opportunity.
That's fine.
Alrighty. Well, anybody got any sort of last wrapping up comments here? I think we're about ready to cut it.
I mean,
My-
we managed to talk about how much Milestars suck. We talked about the fact that I'm moving again, and I'm sure we'll hit that one more time at a very minimum. We covered the fact that Cody can't use a tape measure. We covered the fact that I
Wow.
can't use
No,
a
I just-
caliper.
Didn't use the tape measure. Okay, mister.
I'd say we're pretty good.
My Jeep might not be pretty, but at least my yard is.
Fair enough.
Okay, Jose.
Well, keep your time zones in sync and your shocks appropriately measured, I guess.
God,
See you next
suck.
time.
Oh shit.